Hey beautiful people, this video is about how to get into leadership roles. It's not about waiting, it's about designing. Do you feel that you're ready for a leadership role but you're stuck in high performer, individual contributor mode? Do you want to be seen as a leader before you actually get the title? And let's talk about how leaders actually get chosen and how you can step into that with some practice and some application. By the end of this video, you're going to know 6 of the most powerful moves to position yourself for leadership without begging, without overworking, or without just sitting around hoping someone's going to notice. So let's talk about these 6 powerful moves. The first one is leadership is not a reward. It is actually a response to your actions and your design. So the good thing about it is you have a lot more control over that than you might otherwise think. So if you are waiting to be noticed, there's a fairly good chance you're going to be waiting for a long time. If you are getting yourself busy around what your next role could be, and you're identifying people who are leading in that role, and you are engaging with them in terms of interviewing them, asking them questions, making valuable offers to them, finding ways to spend more time with them, and you are looking at what it is that they are doing. And on top of all of this, you obviously have your org chart and your role definitions. So you've got a good handle from a sort of general standpoint as to what it is you want to step into. But if you're going to make it applicable and relevant for yourself, it's really valuable to identify people who are in those roles and begin to engage with them as human beings. As you start doing that, you're beginning at that point to map out your own next leadership move. So I was working with a wonderful woman the other day, and she has been asked to take on this huge project. Now, the huge project kind of got dumped on her a little bit in terms of somebody else was leaving and she got asked to take the project. Now, she has a choice. She can either begrudgingly take on the project, or she can use this as an opportunity to be able to engage with another leader in her organization who is senior to her and who would really value her taking on this project. So as you think about your next move and you think about leadership and how you want to step into it, remember, you're being given opportunities all the time. You can transform what looks like someone dumping stuff on your plate to an opportunity to be able to engage with another leader in your group, or engage more effectively with your own manager and your own leader, and use that as a learning opportunity. Acting like a leader is really about changing what you're listening for. I had an interesting conversation about that this week. So if you are simply doing your job, that means that you are doing what someone else is telling you to do or asking you to do. And it means that you're not looking up and above at what is going on ahead of you, above you. So you might be looking down at your team and delivering really good work and doing really, great progress with what it is that you're doing. You might be growing your people. You might be doing all of those wonderful things. And if you are, absolutely kudos to you. But looking down without looking up is never going to get you promoted. So if all you're doing is you're looking down and you're delivering great work and you're taking care of your team, that's not enough. You've got to be looking up and see what matters to the people who are above you, the people who are leading your company, leading your organization. And the difference between that is, one is I'm doing tasks that are asked of me, and the other one is I'm listening for the concerns of the people who are above me. So build a practice for yourself of listening to what matters to other people, what they're trying to accomplish. Now, your KPIs or OKRs are a great place to start with that, but I promise you they are never enough. Understanding how each individual relates to those, or just pick one individual that you're interested in, that you think is a cool leader and that you want to follow, and look at how they're interpreting those OKRs or KPIs, and look at what it is they're looking to accomplish, what kind of name they're trying to make for themselves, how they want to show up as a leader. And beginning to understand what other people's concerns are above you actually positions you as the person whose eligible to be on the same level, who's got their back, who's going to contribute to the team, who's going to add value, who's going to make valuable offers, who's going to take stuff off their plate. So as you start thinking about your next leadership role, think not just about the task that you're doing, but also think about how it is that you're listening to other people and building trust with them and engaging with them. I can't overstate this, and I think I might have said this in pretty much every video that I've talked about, is make valuable offers. If you're waiting to be noticed by virtue of doing your job description exactly as it is defined, you are missing an enormous opportunity to be able to position yourself. I'm working with this amazing woman at the moment, and she's doing super well in a department that she's heading up. But she's sitting there and kind of reflecting and saying, look, all of my skills aren't really being used. I've got other skills that I would love to be able to enjoy more, spend more time with, contribute more through. And I've identified a department that actually would allow me to be able to grow and expand more. And so I'm designing an offer to make to the head of that other department and to see whether or not I can join that team over there. Now, it's an internal move within her company. She's going to have to coordinate both of the leaders so she doesn't burn any bridges. There's still a fair amount of work to be done, but I just love the idea that she's working with me. She's taken this idea of making offers and she's using it as a way to more fully utilize what she sees as valuable skills that she's bringing to the table. And she knows there's a more powerful offer that she can make to the boss of this other department than she can make to her own at the moment. Design, identify, find opportunities to make powerful offers. Find ways for, if you have a small team right now, find ways for your people to make offers to you so they free you up to be able to make more powerful offers yourself. I talk about this in a number of other videos. Make sure that you find them and click on them. They'll be talking about offers. They'll be talking about your next promotion. And it's really designed to help you understand kind of the engine of progress within organizations is really fantastic, ambitious people like you making offers. One thing that I've seen people consistently fail to do is really to build horizontal relationships and connections. We go to work, we're super busy, we've got mad schedules, mad calendars, we're trying to help people around us, we're trying to deliver to our bosses and our internal customers, we're trying to deliver to our external customers. And somewhere in the middle of that, by the time that we get to the end of the day, we're so exhausted, we don't necessarily reflect on the fact that we have failed to build those cross-functional relationships. Think of it as trust that you want to build up with your boss, down with your team. You've also got to build it horizontally. So if you have been with an organization for a little while, you've probably have passing relationships with people in other departments. If you work with people in other departments, you definitely have relationships with them. Think of those as relationships of trust that you want to grow and strengthen, and do it intentionally and consciously. Don't just make it a byproduct of the work that you do, and recognize where those relationships will allow you to be able to work with that person more effectively. Design your work together and do it in a way that adds value both to their boss and to your own. A lot of times those cross-functional relationships, those cross-organizational relationships, that intentional trust building will give you insight into different departments and different organizations in a way that will give you much, much more powerful context around what's going on in the organization. You'll build empathy, you'll build trust, you'll build context, you'll build understanding, you'll build knowledge about your organization, you'll understand the metrics better, you'll understand the standards better, you'll understand the goals better as they relate to the organization as a whole. Don't miss out on that opportunity to be able to really expand your understanding of leadership inside your own org through intentionally building horizontal trust. Another important thing to think about as you think about moving into a leadership role is to think about your ability to be able to roll with the punches, to deal with criticism. And I've done another video on how to deal with critical feedback. But important thing in here is to be able to not get defensive, but use those as opportunities to be able to learn. Now, some people will deliver them terribly badly. Some people will really annoy you and get up your nose with comments that they have to make. You can train them to give you feedback in a way that is more useful and that you can respond to more effectively. But the first time you hear it, it's probably going to knock you sideways. But there's an opportunity for you to be able to, what I call, be declarative and not defensive. So when someone comes at you with something that's not working, there's an opportunity for you to be able to declare a breakdown and acknowledge that that's not working and not take it personally, and be it and present it as an opportunity for both of you to work together to resolve it. So the conversation might go something like, hey, I appreciate that, I really hear what you're saying, and I'd love us to sit down and figure out how we do that better going forward. Now, if they have come to you and said, your people are absolutely useless and your department hasn't delivered to me for 6 months and I'm absolutely dying on the vine here because my project is going to fail and it's all your fault, that's a pretty serious situation. If you can practice on the smaller ones before you ever get to one of those, and hopefully you never do, but if you can practice on the small ones and you can be declarative and declare the breakdown, acknowledge the breakdown, and not be defensive about it, you will find opportunities to be able to coordinate more effectively with people that will bolster your performance and also have people talking about you as the kind of person who they want to engage with, who they want on their team, who they want to lead an initiative, who they know can kind of roll with the punches and handle the difficult situations and difficult conversations. The sixth one, and I think this is particularly relevant for people who are unassuming or humble in any way. And if you are, kudos to you. It's important and valuable, and it will come into play a lot more as you mature as a leader. But to recognize that you don't have to be ready for the whole job the minute you step into it. You just have to be ready for your first real commitment. So when we look at job descriptions and when we ask ourselves whether or not we would be able to do them, or we're eligible for them, and we're competent to deliver on them, or we're good enough to be able to put our hands up and say that we would like to do them, or we've positioned ourselves for it, but now, oh my goodness, we might be able to be getting it. What are we going to do tomorrow? So one of the most effective ways I've found to deal with this, to kind of allay some of that anxiety around it, is to do a 30, 60, 90 for yourself. To go, what am I going to do in the first 30 days? What do I want to accomplish? Who am I going to talk to? What commitments am I going to make? And then ask yourself the same thing for 60 and for 90 days out. Now, you may not have a clue. That doesn't really matter. You'll have a clue about one or two things. And then you can also go and ask people who've been in that role before. You can go and ask your boss. You can go and ask AI. You can go and ask the web. And what you're doing there is you are building for yourself a discipline of, what do my first 30, 60, 90 look like? And you'll get to the point where you're ready to be able to kind of spin those off. I end up doing those with a lot of people that I work with to help them really dig in and make sure that they are super confident as they go for an interview. Sometimes before they even apply for a job, they're going in there with a deep understanding of what their first 30, 60, 90 would look like. Really encourage you to do that for yourself. It's kind of a gift that you can give yourself, and you learn to get more and more proficient at it over time. And it helps you do that looking up that I talked about earlier on in this video, that will really help you as you move into your next leadership position. As you start looking at how to get into your next leadership role, there's another video that I think will really help you, which is, what do leadership roles teach you? And that video talks about what you learn in a leadership role and how it can benefit you enormously. As you go through this process and you begin to groom yourself to be the leader that you would like to follow, come back here, talk to me, let me know how you're doing, let me know how the videos are helping you, let me know how I could help you more, and I wish you the absolute best of luck with it.